Petro Primo, Peter the Great. That's the guy on the horse behind me. In fact, this is the bronze horseman, a iconic figure of St. Petersburg and maybe of all of Russia, of one of Russia's greatest leaders, Tsar Peter the Great. Why was he so great? Well, he actually founded this city after he took over all of this territory around here. He was one of those magnificent leaders. I think he's like 7 foot tall, an imposing figure, a really smart guy, was trained and schooled in Europe in shipbuilding and navigation. He was really all about figuring out the technologies and the cultural stuff that was going on in Europe and actually importing it back here to Russia. This is before he even became Tsar. And when he got back here, he was at a certain time in a certain place that he really did magnificent things for Russian history in terms of conquering lands and taking over and unifying the empire and making it bigger. And this place we're at right now, St. Petersburg, the place named for the dude, is a result of that. Peter was really, as a kind of maritime type of dude, really wanted Russia to have a world presence, and in that time that meant you had to have a naval presence. So he was big about building their navy and building more and more ports or getting good sea access, which they did not have up to his time. They had no great port until he took over this particular area. A side note, anytime you're going around St. Petersburg, you'll see maritime themes and a lot of the art and architecture and monuments all over the place. They wanted to be a seafaring power in order to compete with those European powers. Now, how did he get this port and this city created in his name? He actually beat the hell out of the Swedes. Go figure. The Swedes were the power in the Baltic at the time, and the Swedish kingdom and the Swedish empire controlled not just the Scandinavian peninsula, but they owned and controlled lock, stock, and barrel the Baltic Sea and a lot of the areas around here. So Peter, when he stepped up, really came in with a stronger army, knocked the Swedes out, and took over this area from the Swedes and said, ha, this is my port, this is it. This is going to be our window to the west, which is another name for St. Petersburg. Opening out, you can see in the statue, he has this arm outstretched. Actually, it's on the other side, you can't see it. He has his arm outstretched because what we're doing is facing the Neva River right now. And St. Petersburg is on the mouth of the tributary of the Neva River, empties out and flows down that way out to the Gulf of Finland and then out to the rest of the Baltic Sea. And so this truly became, in 1703, when he took the territory and started building this city, became Russia's premier port. It still to this day is a major port of export for everything from lumber to petroleum to natural gas to minerals and everything else that Russia has. So this is a great significant place historically, but even in today's world because of the great man, Peter himself. Again, a guy who was trying to tilt Russia towards Europe, towards opening towards Europe, towards embracing European traditions. He really wanted Russia to be a European nation, and this is something that the Russian psyche has actually struggled with from before his time all the way to the present. And that is Russia a European country? Are they European? Peter thought so. Or are they more independent? Or are they more Eastern? Because of course Russia does encompass all of the Eurasian continent and has huge tracts of land out that way. So this is something in today's world, I believe, that maybe even Vladimir Putin and others think, our future lies more with China and the East. We're focusing more that way. But in Peter's time, back in the day, 300 years ago, look at his hand, west. West to the future.